pleasant morning. I hope you're having a very beautiful day. Well, it's Friday, and for a lot of people, it's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Well, here, we're just happy that you joined us in this beautiful conversation we're about to have. And we just hope that you'll not be scrolling endlessly this morning on your social media, but you stay tuned with us and just stay hooked with us and listen to us have this conversation on scrolling endlessly. I have Jemima and I have Joyce this morning.
Like
Good morning.
it doesn't look like you're happy that it's Friday. But if you're not excited, I'm super excited. Thank God it's Friday. Like, thank God. As in, I can't wait. Even though today is a long day for me.
Yeah,
work.
today is a long way.
It's going to be a long day. But I mean, after today, I mean, man could rest. So it's a beautiful day. Like, a joyous one. This is the day the Lord has made. We'll definitely rejoice and be glad in it. So, Jemima, you look good. Rich auntie vibes.
No, it's not rich auntie, but more like Matang Oga.
Maton Oga. That's the word. Maton Oga.
Don't shout too much before I get Billy.
You definitely be billed after the show. You can't appear like this fine, this rich, and just go like that.
This shining and this glow this Friday.
I thought we were working in the same place. Though, but
Exactly.
now you made it clear to me that Kwe Oga. Maton Oga.
Matang Oga.
Wow.
Funds are coming from another.
She has other
Different
source.
streams
So I just hope it's not born out of manipulation, sir.
Oh my god. Wow.
All right, so we're talking about scrolling endlessly on social media, and a lot of times you find that I kept on thinking this before I came on set, and I almost made that error that I'll probably be saying something like strolling endlessly, but thank God I did not make that. So scrolling endlessly on the social media, you find a lot of people on the social media. You say, okay, I'm going there for just like 10 minutes, and before you blink your eyes, this person is there for like 10 hours, and you're like, what exactly did you do this whole 10 hours? And it just feels like it's a wasted time and whatnot. So let's talk about scrolling endlessly.
You know, when you're on social media, there's always this tendency to want to know what is happening. And then, let me just check this one. And then after that, I would stop. Before you know, you've checked like 10 others. Oh, let me see this person, what he said. Before you know, you've checked it. And it has a lot of addictive tendencies, addictive behaviors. Like, you get used to it. You feel like, okay, well, I'll just check today. And after today, I won't even subscribe my phone. I won't do anything. But tomorrow, your mind is still pushing you towards that place again, and before you know, it is a year already. And half of the year you use it to scroll endlessly.
Honestly.
So it has a lot of addictive behaviors in it, and then it works more with the mind and with discipline, like you're controlling yourself. Someone will tell you, I just went off social media for like an hour, and then I came back. I don't recognize anything that is going on again. You don't have to be a part of anything that is going on. The most important thing is, are you getting the necessary information you went there to look for? Are you attaching yourself to the valuable people that would influence your life and add more spice to your life? Or you're just there following the crowd, like someone will be there and barely even pick you out because you're not making any impact, you're not adding anything at all. So scrolling endlessly, you would never finish scrolling if you want to scroll endlessly, because the more you keep scrolling, newer feeds are coming on social media. True. So by the time you finish, you go and start all over again with newer information. So if you want to keep scrolling endlessly, then trust me, the circle will never end. When you get to the beginning, you're starting all over again with something different. But then it is important that when you go on social media, you should know, first of all, why you're going there. And then if I want to be on social media for 10 minutes, let my year be year. I should be there for 10 minutes and leave. There shouldn't be anything that will take away my attention. Like, what will take away your attention and you'll be there before you know 2 hours have gone? And you know, it affects your physical responsibilities, whatever it is you are doing physically, it affects it. Because what I was supposed to do in an hour, I took 2 hours on social media. That one would be at stake. You're less productive, whether you're going through a business or you have a job to do. You won't be productive. Why? Because you are on social media. That is why some workplaces would say you have to drop your phone and then do what you need to do. When you're done, you come back and pick the phone and go your way. And a lot of times when you go to churches, you see them right by the door, switch off your phone or put your phone on silent, or because some people are not even disciplined enough. While sermons are going on in church, you see someone scrolling. He will tell you, well, I brought my phone because I want to read the Bible. But then what he's doing is nothing related to the Bible. He's just scrolling. Oh, I don't want anything to pass me by. So it makes you less productive. And of course, nobody would take you serious. Imagine you're going for a job interview and you're waiting for your turn and you're busy scrolling. By the time they'll pass an information, you won't get to hear it. Or you get half information. And someone might be observing and be seeing what you're doing. It's really havoc.
Exactly. And what you just said, I just remember that someone had a flight to catch, and so he was waiting for his flight and was just busy on the social media. They came, announced the flight, last call up for boarding for this flight, blah blah blah. They called the number of his flight. He was so busy. It was like an hour later he was asking, my flights has not been called up yet, and like they have already arrived where their destination and you're still sitting down here. And this is how he just missed out the flight, because he was too busy scrolling on social media and not really doing anything productive. So a lot of times you scroll through and a lot of things are passing you by and you're not even aware that things like that are happening. So scrolling on social media endlessly could actually be very detrimental for you. For some people, it's that you're looking for business. You're doing your business on the social media. But then again, if you're doing that, your attention will be solely on that business and not just other things that are there. However, when you go without anything in your mind and you just go in, I have a few spare minutes, let me just check my social media, and before you know it, you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. As Jerima said, a lot of things just keep popping up. The feeds are endless on the social media. It just continues and it just moves, and you're just enjoying, you have a good laugh and all that, and before you know it, your time is really ticking and you have no idea what to do next with
That's
that.
why someone will not have data and the person will look sick because he wants to go and continue scrolling endlessly.
True. Well, in an era of information technology and in a time where we're being bombarded by information left, right, and center, like in a time where technology continues to advance and a lot of social media platforms like emerging, the temptation to scroll endlessly is always there, because you want to have an idea as regard, for some people, to have an idea as regard what is happening or what these platforms are for, or what is actually, like, what's the use, how can it impact me positively, and all of that. So because of how inquisitive we as humans are also, we want to know, like, what about this latest platform, what about this platform, what can I do, what can I do. And you find out that people are always on their phone, people are always trying to scroll, but it becomes almost like endless when there's no limit to what you can do. Some persons out there might just argue about that. At some point I stopped, so it's not endless. But it becomes endless when it becomes part of your life, and then the only time that you go offline or your hand is not scrolling is when sleep just take you, like the wave of sleep just comes and take you. Like, there are people that are so addicted to just scrolling on their phones that the only time that they are off is when they just sleep off, or when they are out of data. But even when they are out of data, there's the free mode. There's this Opera Mini giving you some free minutes to like, they will always find a way of going left, right, and center on their phones. But like we rightly established, these activities are not without challenges. They are not without effects. They are really detrimental, like they can be. Sometimes there were times that I went on social media, and while I didn't go, I just went, okay, let me see what is actually happening today. Because of course, within an hour or within a second or within a minute, about how many, more than over 100 people are posting. So you want to, okay, from my friends list, let me see what is actually happening. For some of us, you want to know the latest. When you go on social media, you can just know, okay, what's the latest happening. You want to keep yourself informed, or you want to know what is actually happening, and then you just scroll, or you log on your social media platform and you see this person say, I heard that this thief was caught. Or another person say, tomorrow I'm starting up this business. Another person saying this, and you're there to get the information. And it gets to a point that as you are scrolling, you want to know more. You want to get more. You're not satisfied, and then you find yourself scrolling for hours. I remember one instance where I went to social media. So as I was scrolling, my hands were literally paining me. My eyes were tired. But for me to just drop the phone and sleep, I was just, let me just keep going. There are more information. Like, there's more to know than just stopping here. But see, the point is that this information will not stop popping up. Because as you're studying, as you're reading, as you're trying to search, others are coming. You're being bombarded by different information. So you have to be guided. You have to be disciplined. Like, in this era that we are, the only thing that will save you is discipline.
True.
If you want to follow trends, if you want to follow latest, like, they will always be there. You say your own is to be posting memes. There will always be new memes. So what do you just set your priorities right? Be that person that has self-discipline. I'm going online to just get this information, and once I go and I get this information, I log out, or I just drop my phone and face my activities. If you are disciplined, you can also tell, okay, this time is for work and this time is my personal time. So my break time, since it's my personal time, I can just use it and do what I want to do on social media, whether it's business or whatever you use your social media for. But I mean, positive reasons. You can use your break time. But the fact that throughout the night you are scrolling, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're doing, you're stretching your hands through your phone, you start scrolling. Before you even say your prayers, you're like, let me just see who sent me a message. From just checking the message that is in your phone, you see yourself logging on WhatsApp. From logging on WhatsApp to see, okay, what are the messages that come, just say, let me check Facebook. And sometimes you can just be on the WhatsApp, you see link that will take you to another social media handle. Before you know, you're on YouTube. Before you know, you're on Instagram, and you see that you spend 3-4 hours and you have to just rush to work. You get to work, you're like, it's like I have a missed call. From missed call, you say, let me check my WhatsApp. And you just see, you're just scrolling, and your needs are actually there, your responsibility, your tasks are actually there, and they are actually suffering. So people might just feel that, like Jemima said, it's addictive. Unconsciously, you just see yourself on your phone, even when you're supposed to drop it. Have you not seen people eating and they're on their phone?
Yes.
Or have you not seen people driving and they are responding to chats? Like, the person is like, I can hear you, keep up. Like, it's scrolling. I've seen a person driving and scrolling on it. Not like there's a particular information that he wants to, but the person was scrolling. So we need to set our priority right. We need to be self-disciplined. Like, you cannot afford to. Some people got like knocked down by cars because they were carried away by what they were doing on their phones.
Some have burnt food.
Do you understand? That one is, the story is even endless.
It's endless.
Or some drove to where they are not even supposed to. Or you are inside a public transport and you're busy and they carry you to another community or another angwa, and you shamelessly, because you cannot even say that you have passed with me, you just say, just drop me here. Or are you going back? And the person say, you are going back, you pay me again. I don't know, just drop me, and you have to walk back because you were busy scrolling, that you got carried away, and you just put everything, like your whole and that's one thing about scrolling. The whole of your sense organs are there. You are busy. You even forget that you're on the highway. You even forget that you're at work. You even forget that there are people that they go to the bathroom with their phone. Story was told of a man that his phone rang. He was taking his bath, and then his phone rang. The way this man ran out with foam on his body, because the wife just shouted, "Honey, your phone is ringing." And so when she just said, "Let me get it for you," Uncle just ran out with foam from his body. Like, why? When you scroll endlessly, you engage in activities that are not right. you hear people say, this TikTok, I don't want to get involved with anything on TikTok because everything there is just nudity and all. And you know one thing with this social media platform, the content you keep patronizing or you keep viewing, they keep suggesting it for you.
Yes.
So if on your TikTok you're saying that everything on TikTok is just sexual, everything is just nudity, is porn, that means you have been watching. So if you watch, they will keep showing you
That's what you
related,
desire.
even on Facebook. Even if they show you like a book review and you click on the review, for example, like more information, see more, and you go through it, you see another book summary pop up again. So what kind of activities do you prioritize on social media? Because some of the scrolling that you do, for some is towards the positive, you get knowledge. For others again, they end up engaging in activities that they should not, because you're always watching porn, you find yourself masturbating. You're always watching videos that there are some time that's why I say when people send me friend requests, personally, I just go to your timeline. And when I go to your timeline, the tags, so the what pops up on your timeline, I can tell one about you. And that's why some organization where you submit your CV, they go on your social media handles and they check the kind of person, the kind of image you project out there. So it's actually detrimental to go on social media unguarded, because you can you end up diverting or engaging in activities that you should not. Because from there, somebody will just say hi and you want to respond to the hi, or an issue is being discussed that you have no idea, you want to comment. Sometimes when you go on social media and see some of these issues that people debate on, and you go on the comment section, you see somebody that has no business saying anything but saying something there.
Yes.
Why? Because you are scrolling endlessly, you are there without purpose, you are there without anything that is guiding your presence on that social media. And the worst part of it is how that they keep sharing the links.
True.
Forward it to 10 people, if not you will die. Forward it to 20 people, if not one sickness will catch up with you and your family.
I think that because a lot of people just go on social media and are scrolling endlessly, you would subsequently want to be a partaker of what is going on in the social media. The more the more things that you ingest, the more you want to bring it out. You don't just ingest and keep it inside, you bring it out and in one way or another. So if you have watched this, if you have seen these memes, a lot of them, you too would want to post to feel among. If you have seen all these challenges going on and on, you hear this trend today, that trend tomorrow, and you watch them, over time you also want to participate, so that you would have your own content there, and you would also want to have more followers so that you would have more things to actually view. You'd also want to have a whole lot of things on the social media. So from being a scrolling person, you could just come back and be a very active member who wants to also feel among. This is just how the mind of a person works. It's a circle. The more you get, the more you want to give out, and the more you want people to see what you have to offer. The more you want to put your mark there too on the social media. So I watch a lot of people to let my mark be felt as well. So but earlier on, both of you mentioned something about going to the social media with purpose. What is your reason of going to the social media, and what is guiding you exactly there? On these platforms, they're endless, things just keep popping up and all that. What exactly are you looking for when you go on the social media? And I'm not so sure a lot of us think of that. It's a trend. Everybody is on social media, so I should be too. In fact, for some of us, we opened our social media accounts because everybody had an account. And over time, I think mine has become dormant. But this is how some people got involved, and from that they just wanted more and more and more. You would rarely be satisfied with where you are at. You want to grow, and because you want to grow, your time from 10 minutes it moves to 20, from 20 minutes it shoots to 1 hour, and it just continues and it just evolves and all that. And because you scroll and you scroll, you would probably you have higher tendencies of actually moving out of what you went to the social media to do,
Mm-hmm.
because other feeds would still show up, say things you might be interested in. Things you might be interested in. I think almost all of them have this kind of pop-ups. Things you might be interested in, and you're like, let me just see. I really might be interested. And tomorrow, another thing that you might be interested in would appear, and before you know it, these things would just your viewing circle would just widen and broaden, and you just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you lose track of time. Yeah, that's one thing. Earlier on, Joy said your attention, your five senses are actively involved in the social media, and I want to agree, because you lose track of reality
Of
when you're
course.
scrolling on the social
You're in a
media.
different world altogether.
Yes, exactly. In fact, for some people, I remember while I was in school one time, and someone came into our room, and all of us were on our phones for different reasons. Yes, for some of us, we were reading, because some of us had our notes and everything on the phone instead of books and on the laptop and things like that. So we were all on our phones, so nobody was having a conversation in a room of four. And this person walks in and is like, okay, all of you drop your phones, let's have a discussion, because I don't understand why everybody is just out of touch in this room. And at that moment, I feel like, okay, yes, this person made a whole lot of sense, because we cannot even have a conversation with people around us anymore, because we are so soaked into the social media. A lot of us will prefer to have conversations with people on the social media than to have face-to-face interactions. And because you're not even having this face-to-face interaction, when you have to have a face-to-face interaction with someone or with a group of people, you don't have the esteem to carry you through.
Yeah, you know, I saw a picture recently about a mother. She was dragging the child. He was playing outside and she was dragging him to come inside. Then another picture beside it, she was dragging the child from inside to go outside. Now this is the explanation. The first picture, he was socializing with people, and he was playing so much he barely had time to even come home and see people. And then this other second picture, he was so busy on his phone, internet, and every other thing, he lost touch with the world. So she was pulling him from the internet to go out and mingle with people.
True.
And socialize with people.
True.
But the first one, there was no era of internet and all of that. So he was doing too much of the mingling with people that she had to practically drag him to come
back home.
in. And this is what this whole social media has done. It has made us to lose touch with people. I can be sitting with Joyce, but I would barely even remember that Joyce is sitting here. Why? Because both of us are in our phones. We might be laughing, but we're laughing at different things altogether. We won't even remember that we are sitting beside each other. So it makes us to lose touch with people, with anything that is physical. We are scrolling. We are in the world of the scrolling. Like we have to put our minds, our heart, and everything into what we're doing. That is why you don't even know that time has gone by. Left to you, you only scroll for like 5 minutes, but it's been 2 hours, it's been 3 hours.
True.
That is what scrolling endlessly does. It makes you to lose touch with the world, with your physical world. That is why we talked about you're no longer productive in whatsoever it is you're doing, because you're practically in another world. That is why something will be happening, you're not aware. Food is burning, you're not aware. The whole house is burning down. By the time your mind will come back to what is happening, more harm has been done. And a lot of times I also feel that we love the attention that social media gives to us. Imagine I snap a picture. I snap hundreds of pictures and I post one. And 1 minute later, I'm getting a like. I want to run back to social media and check who liked it. When I finish checking and come back, the next 3 minutes, 5 minutes, someone comments. I want to run back there and check who made that comment. At the end of the day or at the end of the week, I'm trying to check the sum total. Okay, so how many likes do I have now? How many comments do I have now? Oh, if I had dislikes and discomments, it means if I post 3 more pictures, and And then if I go to the studio, this one I just snapped with my phone. If I go to the studio and snap and post, I would have blown. So we like the whole attention that the social media gives to us, and then we go scrolling. Oh, this one did hers this way, this one did his own this way. Okay, we are so scared of missing out. That is why we don't want to even give few hours in our day to do something else rather than being on social media. Or better still, we leave our data on while pretending that we're doing something else. So whatever pops up, we're going to check it. When we are done checking, we come back doing so. That is not how it should be, because it's eating us up, and it's taking the life that we should have and giving us a fake life that we shouldn't have. At the end of the day, we should be able to balance it. We should be able to balance between our real physical life and every other social media. By so doing, when you're overdoing here, you come back on track. When you're going overboard, you come back on track.
Social media has really impacted on our relationships.
True.
Like scrolling endlessly, or just it has impacted on our relationship. As much as we want to look at the good aspect and dwell on the good angle, we can't take away the negative,
of course,
or the negative aspect of involvement with social media. Today you've talked about relationships. Like, it has really impacted relationship. It's interesting to know that people go for meetings and you just see everybody is on his phone.
Yes.
Nobody engaged the other person. Like, everybody's just okay and satisfied with where he or she is. Like, you can have a mother and a child. The child is crying, saying there's something, like something is wrong. Probably he wore a trouser and maybe an insect or something, and he's calling the mother's attention. She'll just dismiss the child. No, can you get out here? Why? Because she's scrolling. Or the father drives all the children from his presence because he is scrolling. Or you find a situation where children are on their own because they are scrolling. When the parents are even saying, come and eat food, I'm okay, I don't want to eat food. When the husband is telling the wife, we need to talk, she will say, I'm busy. In fact, people now even lie with businesses. They will say, I'm on my phone, I'm trying to do it, but the person is carried away. Like, it does not just impact our relationship with other people, even with ourselves. Like, you find out people don't even have time to take care of themselves. Look at how when you start scrolling endlessly, you spend hours on the phone. And when you are spending hours, maybe you should time that you should have eaten, time that you should have done some laundry, time that you'll have cleaned up maybe your room, or there are other things that you need to do for yourself, but you don't do it because you are scrolling endlessly. It impacts on, even like today people write exams, like the number of failure or the rate of failure in our tertiary institution, even secondary school, like, it's on the high side because people are busy on their phone. Like, they can barely read. A lot of young people today, they are no longer interested in school. Why? Because they are always, their head is buried on their phone. I remember a father telling his son, I wonder how you're going to really study in school, because you just got admitted, but morning till night you're on your phone. So when you get to school, how is it possible? We're already addicted to this thing. Maybe we should have a center that rehabilitate or look at people
Social
that are already
media addiction.
addicted to and see how it can help them, because a lot of young people are addicted. You are washing clothes, you are picking your phone. You are doing a very serious business, you're on your phone. Like that, the food is even burning, you had no idea that, because you're like, let me just see the last one. But how social media works, you will never see the last one. You can only see the last one when your data is up. But even if your data is up, they are really good to give you the free mode. So you cannot see the end of it. It is you that will discipline yourself that, no, okay, let me just check. Oh, I don't have any message you drop. In fact, there are messages that when you see, you don't need to respond, because when you start responding, you engage in endless conversations. There are people that will just say hi. From hi, they tell you this, plenty. You can just introduce yourself. For the first time you're chatting with somebody, hi, my name is so person. I was referred to you by so person. I'll need you to, like, go straight to the point. But some people, hi, I heard that this is going on. I had that. What do you think about this? They send you link, they direct you to so and so, and you go. When they direct you to a particular group, you get there, you see somebody make comment, you want to see who is that person with that rude comment. You go to the person's timeline.
Yes.
When you go to the person's timeline, you are now seeing another post by one celebrity. You now, let me go and see more.
Exactly.
You now see styles, and like for ladies, you see dress styles, and you're like, wow, let me check. And before you know, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, and your whole day is spent. We like people barely pray or meet together now as Christians, like because you are carried away by scrolling, and you just say, time for church is past. I don't want to go late. You bury your head again. Somebody say, can you just drop that phone and dress up for church? Which one is I'm worshiping and praising? That off that gospel song, take your bath and go to church. Some people just say, I'm listening to gospel music now, and they are busy scrolling, and they just use it as a cover up for not showing up. Like, we need to just be disciplined. It is only discipline that will help us. And if you think you need help because you're already addicted, I think you can see a counselor, you can seek for help. Because once you get to the level of addiction that you cannot help it, you cannot. There are people that you can steal their whole life but don't touch their phone.
Even if you touch their phone, they can borrow to get
Like
a
the
new
person
one.
prefer to die. The person can take risks that is life taking than for him not to have phone. And no wonder and why is the phone? It's social media engagement.
True.
So the person can go to any length. I mean, why would a lady go and sleep with a stranger, go for a hookup just because she wants an iPhone? Like, it can just tell you how endless scrolling can lead you to a lot of things. Because you keep seeing things popping up on your timeline, and like this is the in thing, and you cannot afford it. And you see hookup now being advertised like you're buying biscuits.
True.
Like, if you want to be hooked up, come to this platform. And then before you know, you see yourself sending message. It is your endless scrolling that led you to that place.
Of course.
So if you say you are available, you'll be bombarded with information.
Of
And if
course.
you are being bombarded with that information, it creates an image in your mind. And once it creates an image, we are now the totality of the information we
that you
expose ourselves to. So you see yourself now acting in that direction.
True.
Discipline is just key.
And
Very
it
true.
encourages laziness as well.
very
After
true.
you scroll for all those long hours,
What-
and you're
what can
done,
you
you're
do?
tired from doing
Honestly,
It's
your
just
brain
food
has
you
been
want to eat.
working
nothing.
actually.
Yes, it encourages a lot of laziness. You're not doing any work to get any money at all, but then you need constant money to recharge, subscribe, and continue scrolling. It encourages laziness. That's why this our generation. You find a lot of people, they have their hands, they have their legs, they have their sense, but then they are begging for money. Like, why don't you use all these things that you have, even if it means hard
To
work, go and
regenerate.
do it to be able to get money for yourself. But you find someone without a kobo, but he has a very big phone that he does all the scrolling that he wants to do. Yes, you have the phone, why don't you use it to do the right thing to get money? No, it's just about scrolling endlessly. And one
Exactly.
other thing is that we have more of people that have eye problems because of too much screen time. You when you're taking so many hours scrolling a whole day, why won't you have issues with your eye?
You would.
I know there have always been issues with the eyes and all of that, but it's more now. The percentage has shot higher now because of too much of screen time. Are we talking about the phone, the television, the laptops? There is a lot of screen time that we give to phones, and when you check, if you evaluate all of that screen time, more than half of it, there's nothing good to write home about. So
You know what you both just talked about, and how it could over time create a form of laziness. I was watching a movie recently, and there's this doctor working in a hospital, but he's always on his phone. And definitely you have issues with your superiors.
of course,
And this boy becomes very defensive, and it seems like he becomes very defensive, telling them it's not like he does not know what he's doing and things like that. He's just taking a few minutes out to rest his brain and all that. But that's just excuses. One thing that you find with people who scroll endlessly is that they have a lot of excuses to
Of course.
validate what they're doing on the social media. Or not even just the social media. For some people, it goes way beyond that. It's the whole internet itself. You find gamers and movie maniacs. It's just the list goes on and on and on. And when we're talking about scrolling endlessly, we're not just talking about the social media, but rather how much priority you give to your phones. Because a lot of times you find people giving too much priority to the phone, and life in itself is moving away from them, and they are not even observant of that. Why do you find that certain people, if they don't go on social media for a single day, it's like, my life is about to end, please save my life and send me data, I've not been on.
They don't even say that. They just drop phone number. I beg.
No,
Like,
but
you know what
actually
you're
literally
supposed
saw
to do.
someone saying, save my life, I've not had data for a day. And I'm like, wow, really? Is that the sum total of your life, that you would go that extra mile? And that's like telling people that you don't have worth, that I don't have worth, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, I don't have a future, I don't have a vision, and I don't have purpose. That's basically what I translates that statement to mean. Because if you've not had data for a whole day, I think there's a way that you can move and life continues. We understand with people that say, okay, so my business is online and all that. But if your business is online, I'm not so sure you would not have data. You would have,
You plan
one way
for
or
it.
another.
You plan for it.
You would plan for it. So they're just, when you hear excuses like that and this defenses like that, it's because this person has lost touch of reality, has lost touch of his life, that as it should have been. So we really need to work on that. A lot of times people will say that it is harmless, and for some people recently it has been the whole issue of tapping and tapping away, and you find that people in church too are tapping while the pastor is preaching. They're like, no, I'm paying attention, but you're like just tapping away and things like that. And at the end of the day, I think it's just what the Bible says, that whatever replaces God in your life automatically becomes your God. So they have let their phones become their gods. And that's what a lot of us are doing when we go scrolling endlessly on the social media. Because trust me, when you're scrolling endlessly, the last thing on your mind is God.
True.
In fact, the last thing on your mind is even you. You cannot even think of you. Neither can you think of God. So what exactly are you doing on the social media, or what are you doing on your phone? It's just, we really need to work on this. We need to work on our character. When I talk about character on this side, I always talk about how character goes beyond just how you interact with people, but how you approach every circumstance or situation you find yourself. And if you don't build character, you would be tossed around like by the wind. You're just going to be going to and fro. Whatever the wind blows at you, you're going. When life takes you this way, you go that way, and things like that. So you don't have a defined way to move. At the end of the day, there's nothing tangible that you can present and say, this is what I've done with my life, and this is what I have, this is the impact I have made because of the things that I have done. Rather, you just have a lot of followers.
And you know, your mental health is at stake as well.
True, very
Because
true. Any small thing
anything
just
that
triggers.
affects your mental state, I don't think you have any value accorded to you at the end of the day. You're always there. The things you're seeing is affecting your psychological being. That's what causes depression, comparison, and all of that, because you're scrolling and scrolling. The more you see, the more you want to see, and you never stop seeing amazing things that would really cause a lot of changes in your mental health. So it is important that you prioritize it, you weigh it, and make sure that you're not overdoing anything at all. Every state of your mind is important for your own well-being.
Very true.
Simply put, scrolling endlessly just shows lack of self-control.
True.
It just shows lack of self-discipline.
Mm.
And like Prudence said earlier on, nothing should replace God in your life.
No,
And by the time you keep scrolling endlessly, that means you have no time for God.
of course.
Like, we live in a world where the only peace you can get is through your relationship, like constantly feeding your mind with the word of God. So if you're not feeding your mind with the word of God, but you're allowing your mind to be filled with informations that are bombarded by different ideologies, like guided by different ideologies, you find yourself living in confusion. And that is why Jemima emphasized on mental health. There are times that you go on, you are really happy, but once you just go online, just start reading certain information, you see you become very angry.
Yes.
And how can this person say this? How can they are not even there for you to even challenge physically? So you might end up even replying them on social media, and they still get back at you again, and you find yourself like going through certain confusions. So you have to prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize like self-discipline, self-respect. You don't have to keep scrolling endlessly. Be guided by an objective. If you are going on social media, let something guide you. What am I going there for? And that's why I always say, when you are purposeful, or when you know your purpose, like, it's going to save you a lot of things. That means whatever I'm doing, there's the why, and there's the like, what will I gain out of this thing? But if you just if your life generally is not guided by certain principles, values, or purpose, you see yourself being tossed left, right, and center. That's why you can just go on social media and you are visiting, you're like going through different feeds, going through different timelines, going through different groups, and then at the end of the day, before you sleep, you engage in certain activities, or you go and start meeting up with people that you should ordinarily not even meet or even see, because you ended up scrolling endlessly. So let's just be guided. Let our mind be renewed daily by the word of God. That even if you engage in social media activity, let it be that it's something that is in line with your belief, with your values. And that is why personally, when I go on social media and I see certain posts from certain people that does not align with my values, I block you or I just unfollow you, so that I would protect my mind. So you don't allow everybody into your social media platform, because when you allow everybody, is you mixing ideologies together that contradict even your own belief. So let's be guided as we live our lives daily. Let our minds be renewed by the word of God.
And you should also know that if you are not on that social media, nothing will change. It will not stop because of your absence on social media. So it means you should even weigh your skills very well and decide, okay, how long do I want to be here? When do I stop? You should know when to stop or when to continue.
Somebody made a post yesterday and she said, my Facebook friends, I'm back. I know people miss me 2 days. I was like, who told you? Who told you that anybody's even aware that you were not around?
Know that
So
you
she
were
said,
absent.
my social media friends, I'm back. How are you people doing that? I know people miss me. I miss you too. So it was even when I saw the post, I was like, so you were not even around.
Exactly.
So that's how, like, nobody even knows that.
Nothing would stop.
So maybe she now said, went down, and now says, because somebody asked me for 1K, that's why I just went offline. That somebody asked her for money, that's why she had to go offline for some days. But now she's back and she knows that they miss her and she missed them. Also, I say, see this one. Who told you that we wouldn't know you were not around?
But like, honestly, a lot of times it's like, really, you were not online? I did not even notice. I think someone one time posted, I'm back, please, last messages. I lost everybody. I'm like,
there were no messages at all.
You were.
It's just those kind of people that are always busy online. You know, for example, if you have on your timeline, there are certain people that you know they are the everyday, whether business owners or just public affairs analysts, self-acclaimed public affairs analysts. Like every day they are posting, they are saying. So when they are not around, you're like,
what happened to this person?
If it's negative, tilted to, you know, some people will always want to create a presence, whether negative or true positive. So maybe you can, thank God this person is not here, my mental health is intact. Or those kind of people that will always post things that will encourage you.
You'll be
like,
wondering,
I didn't see
where
you
is this
2 days,
person?
and you see people
Some would
reaching
even
out
go,
to
to
reaching
reach
out
out
to
to the
those
person.
people.
Are you okay? You know?
So there's actually nothing wrong with being on social media, but
Yes.
don't anything that would replace God, like you said, it shouldn't replace God in your life. It shouldn't replace your purpose of living. Let your life be guided. Just stay guided.
Because too much of everything is
It's
bad.
actually
Yeah,
bad.
very true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this beautiful
It was a pleasure.
conversation. I do hope we'll do this with you again next week. You two are home watching us. I do hope that you would join us next week for another beautiful episode of Today's Life. It has been a swell ride with you. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and thank you for supporting Equa Television. And we do hope that you continue to support us because, well, we're here for you. So make our stay worthwhile, right? Thank you so much, and see you next week.